This week on the Happiness Club, we talked about kindness and how kindness is connected to our happiness. We had a great discussion, and it just made us all so happy to talk about different acts of kindness, things that we'd done and things that we had received, and how that made us feel. I shared a little bit about the science behind kindness and why it does actually make us happy. I mean, it seems logical that being nice to other people makes us feel good. Of course it does. But there's a bit more to it than that. Uh, Kindness works on a level of neuroplasticity. The more that we repeat something, a positive action or a thought or a behavior, when we repeat that over and over again, we start to connect neural pathways in our brains, and we can create strong, positive, and more densely packed areas of our brain connected with what we're doing. So if we're doing something positive like acts of kindness, we know that really happens in the prefrontal cortex on the left side. And you know this because we've scanned brains of Buddhist monks, and we've seen that the monks who are with the Dalai Lama and practicing loving kindness meditation for thousands of hours, when scientists scanned their brains, they saw that this left part of the prefrontal cortex, was packed really densely. It was really huge. And so we know from the work that they've done that that part of the brain grows, and that part is to do with kindness, compassion, and happiness. So if you're practicing kindness every day, you're going to be really developing strong neural pathways, all connected with happiness. We also know that kindness is the opposite of stress. It's a great way to de-stress. And that's particularly useful at this time where many people are feeling great levels of stress right now. When we're stressed, we release the stress hormone cortisol, which in short bursts is fine for our bodies. In fact, can actually be quite productive to get us to do things. But when we're living in a constant state of stress and a persistent level of stress, and we have a persistent level of cortisol in our body, long term, that's not going to be good for us. When we practice acts of kindness, we release a different hormone into our body called oxytocin, the feel-good hormone. That surrounds our heart, protects our heart, reduces our blood pressure, and takes good care of us. And of course, it reduces cortisol and stress in our bodies. So this is a particularly effective tool when we're feeling stressed, when we feel that there's so much in our lives that's out of control. And it helps distract us away from all those thoughts that we have and the negativity. And actually, it might seem strange, but practicing kindness every day is a great antidote to stress and to negative thinking. There's so much research done on the benefits of being kind to others. And we know from that research that people who give acts of kindness, who are kind towards other people, report far higher levels of happiness. But of course, the people receiving those acts of kindness also report feeling happy. And not just that, but people hearing stories of acts of kindness report feeling happy. And we had that in the group as we shared our stories of all the things that we had received, the acts of kindness we'd heard about, the kind stories we'd heard about. We came up with lots of ideas about how to be kind. And it created such a great overall feeling within the group. It was a very happy, positive feeling, and everyone left on a much more positive note than when they arrived. So we know there's different ways to be kind, and it doesn't always have to be big gestures. Yes, volunteering your time, helping other people, the bigger gestures. Of course, research shows us that people report quite immediate feelings of happiness, like strong feelings of happiness, more energy, and feeling good. And so that's a very obvious way. And there's still ways to do that, even now when we record this during COVID times. There's still so many ways that you can volunteer and help other people from your own home, through the internet, in so many different ways. But kindness, it doesn't have to be grand gestures all the time. It can be really small acts of kindness that you do each day. Sometimes very, very, maybe go a bit unnoticed. But just small things every single day have an effect. You might just pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Maybe write someone a letter. Just say thank you to somebody. Let someone go ahead of you in the queue in the supermarket, or hold the door for someone, or just say hello to somebody as you walk past them. There are so many things that you can do. And I would just invite you to think about how you can consciously be aware of doing something kind for someone every day. And when we invite that, I think when the more we give, the more we open ourselves up to receive kindness as well. And you will notice that much more kindness comes your way. And of course, as we said, when you receive that kindness too, you feel happier too. So I'd love to invite you into my next challenge, which will be happening in December. And that is the 24 days random acts of kindness advent calendar, where we count down to Christmas for 24 days doing a random act of kindness. I'd love for you to come and join me. We do lots of acts of kindness throughout the year. So join anytime over in the Happiness Club. We'll put the link just below here. But please come and join me. And if you'd like to, come and join the Acts of Kindness Advent Challenge. And even if you don't join the challenge, just think about how we can do something small every single day. Because really, kindness is the opposite of stress, and it makes us feel so much happier. And you know, when we do those acts of kindness, it creates a ripple of kindness. When you're nice to someone, they feel happier. They pass that on, they do something else. So let's start to create these ripples of kindness around the world. And it just starts with you in one small step.